And now, from the Room 111 studios, it's Hacking Engagement with James Sternovich.
There once was a principal called Andy Jados. You might remember that name. Andy was on my episode 3 of the Hacking Engagement podcast talking about classroom management. Well, Andy takes his offspring to an escape room. And, they all, good times were had by all. He's driving to school the next day, and he kept thinking, wow, I wonder if we can create an escape room in our school. So he approaches two very talented and creative people. One is Kristen Macklin. She's the district media specialist. And the other is Jason Manley, the district instructional facilitator. And generally they're camped out in the morning up in our media center, which I still call the library now and then, which is a tremendous faux pas. So Andy approaches them, and they get really intrigued. And so they do a little research, and they tell Andy Jados, yeah, man, we can do it. We can do it. We've read some articles, we brainstormed, and teachers can come to us, and we'll act like the escape room architects. Isn't that cool? Enter Jennifer Zimmer. Jennifer Zimmer is a Spanish teacher at our school, and she wanted to do something different for an assessment. So she created these outstanding prompts. She turned them over to Kristen and Jason, and voila, baby, they created this escape room, and the students had to converse entirely in Spanish. And what was cool is Jennifer just walked around and listened to conversations, and she said what she loved was that students got out of the Spanish for academic reasons and into the Spanish for conversation reasons. She said it was a massive success. Well, unfortunately, I couldn't corral Jennifer or Andy or Jason or Kristen for this podcast episode, but baby, I got somebody perfect. Her name is Kayla DeMuth, and Kayla is a science teacher. She approached Jason and Kristen as well. And you're going to hear a conversation between myself and Kayla where she describes the science escape room that they set up. So please migrate to my show notes for this episode because you'll see some great links which will help you. And I think it might be worth your while to perhaps approach your principal and see the potential of creating an escape room at your school, and maybe you might just find an architect, or maybe you might be your school's architect. Buckle up. I think that you're going to find this episode fascinating. Hey, so get this, listener. My publisher contacts me and says, I love the way Hacking Engagement is selling. How about doing 50 more? I was all over it like a cheap suit. So the name of the book is Hacking Engagement Again, 50 Teacher Tools That Will Make Students Love Your Class. And it's going to be available on Amazon's virtual shelves in the late summer of 2017. In the meantime, if you're looking for more teacher empowerment resources, as always, visit hacklearning.org. Now let's get back to the solutions part of the Hacking Engagement podcast. So here we are at the Room 111 studios, and the year is winding down. I mean, there's just not much left. And because there's not much left, I feel this tremendous obligation to corral some of the teachers that I've wanted to talk to all year. And there's a young woman who teaches down the stairs from me, and her name is Kayla DeMuth. Say hello, Kayla.
Hi.
And when you've been doing this for a while, one of the biggest mistakes you can make as a teacher is to think that you can't learn from the youngins. And I'm going to tell you something. I learn a lot from the younger teachers. So older teachers out there, get over yourself and go talk to some of the younger teachers. You'll learn a bunch. So I share some of Kayla's students, and a couple kids were in my class one day, and they're going, man, we did this really neat thing in Miss DeMuth's class. We did this thing called an escape room. So before we talk about escape rooms, though, I want to talk about Kayla DeMuth. Tell me about yourself.
So I teach science, physical science and biology.
I did know that.
Really? Okay, that's good. And I actually changed my career path a couple times through college. Majored in microbiology, really wanted to be an infectious disease doctor.
Wow.
Shadowed a doctor once and realized totally not what I saw my life being.
Wow.
So my mom was an English teacher, and I just decided to kind of try teaching. And I did Ohio State's FEEP program and loved it.
Okay.
And so I graduated from Ohio State, and then I went back to Ashland and got my teaching license.
Very good.
And
I went to Ohio State to graduate school, so we're Buckeyes, man.
Oh yeah, go Bucks.
But you said mom in a way that makes me think you're from Northeast Ohio. Are you from Northeast Ohio?
No, but my family's from Michigan.
Yeah, I noticed a little accent there. What town did you grow up in?
Well, I'm from Cincinnati.
Well, I'm way off.
Yeah. But my dad's parents are from Holland, Michigan. So
okay. So a little bit of Michigan I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So how long you been in this business?
2 years. Just finished my second year.
It's nice to be winding up, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Okay, so you're just getting started, but you're doing some great stuff. And I have these young kids in my class, and they're talking about your class. They're talking about this escape room. And we need some explanation here. What's an escape room?
Yeah, so I first heard about escape rooms actually through friends.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to go do something different, and there was one in Columbus that had opened up, and it was pirate themed, and basically what it is you get trapped into this room, and you have to solve all these puzzles and riddles to try to get out of the room.
And this isn't a class. This is This is just a place, a business.
Yeah. You can go do it.
Yeah. You know what I saw? I saw that done on The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
Did you see that episode?
I don't think I saw. No, I didn't see that episode, but I can imagine it would be done.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching this Big Bang Theory, and they were doing this escape room, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. And I don't think it was too much longer that I'm sitting in class hearing about some kid talking about doing it in your room.
Yeah.
So now, hold on a second. You went to this pirate-themed escape room.
I didn't go. I had friends that went.
Okay, but are your friends teachers?
No.
So what made the transition from hearing about this as an adult and thinking that it should be applied to the classroom?
Well, luckily, I work in an amazing school building, and a couple other teachers had already done it in their other classes. And so I had heard about that and got excited about it through hearing other teachers doing it.
Beautiful. Now, describe for me how you did it specifically in your class. What was the lesson?
So the lesson, we were actually finishing a unit over cell division, and we were about to have a test, and I thought it would be a great opportunity to use it as a review for the test and really test how much they knew about cell division.
So how did it go down?
So we actually did it up in the Innovation Center.
Right.
And they just set up a bunch of puzzles throughout. So first of all, I need to have a huge shout out right now to Kristen Macklin.
Who refused to come on.
Which I apologize for. And also our instructional facilitator, Jason Manley.
Who also couldn't make it.
So here I am.
Yeah.
They were, absolutely crucial to this process because they were the ones who actually had the tools, the resources, the lock boxes, the locks to make this possible. So it wouldn't have happened without them.
Right.
But I gave them the content, and we kind of collaborated and came up with some puzzles. So we had a Venn diagram. We also did a crossword puzzle, just to give you some ideas. And we
were the kids just in small groups, and these were spread around?
Yes. So we had set up the groups the day before so that when they came in, they knew exactly who they were working with. And they had their own assigned tables to work on all the puzzles and problems in the Innovation Center.
Now, what type of... did you do some decorations? Did you do some lighting? Did you do something to make it seem kind of like an escape room?
That would have been awesome. We did chain the doors to the Innovation Center. Maybe to put more pressure on them? I don't know.
Right. So maybe the next time you do it, you might think about some special effects aspects.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So it was just first run. So, so it was just kind of, they worked in their own groups at a table and then solved the puzzles. And as they would solve a puzzle, they would get a clue to their next puzzle.
How big were your groups?
So we had about 4 kids in each group.
And so they would have to work together to solve the puzzles.
Yes.
What did you see as you saw these kids working through stuff?
They worked really hard. I mean, they were really into it. I saw a lot of frustration, which I felt bad for because, they had different ideas about how to solve the puzzles. But it was really fun to see them debating and really, really getting into the content.
Now, after they solved all the puzzles, what happened then?
So then once they solved all the puzzles, along the way on each puzzle, there was a letter, and ultimately those letters made up the final code to break the lock on the door. Yeah, it was really fun.
So some kids won.
Yes.
Some kids got out.
Yes.
Very good.
And it was with 30 seconds left in the class.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it took them a long time to work through this stuff.
It did. Yeah. And that was with starting right away.
Let me ask you something, Ms. DeMuth. Was that one of the fastest periods you've ever had?
Yes.
Did the kids mention that?
No,
they didn't. That's disappointing.
I know. It really was. I mean, they talked all on and on about how much fun it was, and we should do this again. And
well, maybe if you would have asked, they would have said yes.
For sure.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things where you kind of lose yourself in an activity.
Yes.
Which is the beauty of engagement right there. You're engaged when you look up and you can't believe the period's almost over.
Right. Some of them. I had one student who the bell had rung for the school day, and he was insisting that he was going to stay and solve that puzzle. It was amazing. Man. Yeah.
Now, big question. Did they do better on the assessment?
I mean, they did well. Yeah. I had a really good average for that test. And I felt like they really felt like they understood all the content and this, I think it did really help them out for the test.
Excellent. Now, give a piece of advice to somebody who wants to try this.
So my piece of advice would be to make sure you have time, because this took a lot of time, and that you're not doing it alone. I mean, I guess if I had a ton of time to do it on my own, I guess I could. But the fact that I had 2 other amazing minds helping me and pushing me through this process made it a lot better than it would have been if I just did it by myself. So time, other people's ideas.
Right. I'm sure there's plenty of resources on the internet for escape rooms. You going to do it again next year?
I would love to. Yeah.
Amen.
I would hope to. Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
So here we are at the What You Can Do Tomorrow section. And to pull this off at a school, you're going to have to do some legwork, or perhaps get some colleagues to help you if you don't have escape room architects like we have at my school. But I'll bet you'll find some interest, because this is a very intriguing process. So the first thing I would do is just research some escape rooms. And I have a good link on my show notes to a site that Kristen, Macklin, and Jason Manley suggested, which is breakoutedu.com. You can see some examples of escape rooms, and also they sell some kits. Our escape rooms at our school, Kristen and Jason use QR codes, jigsaw puzzles, hollowed out books, toolkits, tackle boxes, lock boxes, bicycle chains with locks, and their collection keeps expanding. So you want to accumulate some of that stuff. So in addition to researching it on your own, why don't you shoot out a Google form to your colleagues and see if you can find some like-minded teachers who'd like to explore this concept. Jennifer Zimmer would have been, and Jennifer Zimmer's the Spanish teacher, would have been lost. Kayla DeMuth would have been lost trying to do this on their own. They needed Kristen, Macklin, and Jason Manley, the architects, to step in to help. Approach administrators. Hopefully they'll be on board with the idea. They may even be willing to pitch in some financial resources in terms of acquisition of props. They also might have suggestions on where the escape room could be located. Perhaps there's an underutilized room in the building. But the teacher ultimately has to create engaging, challenging puzzles. This is entirely your job. In the episode of The Big Bang Theory that I mentioned earlier, the characters, they solve the puzzle too quickly. So you need to have really challenging, thought-provoking prompts that won't totally stifle your kids, but definitely engage them in a challenging process. Hey, for your next assessment, challenge your students with an escape room. Ironically, they might not want to escape because they're having too much fun. And good luck tomorrow engaging your students.
Show notes for this episode can be found at jamesallensturnevant.com. If you enjoy Hacking Engagement, please subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes.